This video is sponsored by Surfshark.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Chop's Garage. I'm back. So yes guys, I'm back. And the reason that I've been quiet for as long as I have, well there's a couple of reasons I've been quiet for as long as I have, is I did take a holiday. I went away to Spain for a week and a bit. And I obviously didn't want to put it on the channel while I was going away. I didn't want to put it on social media I was going away because although I've got lots of security with the cameras and everything else, and the alarms, I thought it's best not to say, well for everyone in this day and age, it's best not to say when you're away, because this is the opportunity for people to jump in and scam you in lots of different ways. And obviously the biggest one for me is someone potentially breaking in the unit and grabbing stuff knowing I'm not about. Like I say, I have got lots of security on the go, I've got my neighbours, that kind of thing, but I just thought it best not to. Which, great holiday. Lovely being out of Spain, took the family on an all-inclusive, took a friend with my daughter as well, so she got to hang out and I got to just sit in the sunshine. But while I was away, I did actually get scammed. And some of you that follow me on Instagram or are reading the community posts on YouTube will know what happened. My YouTube got hacked and someone posted a little 15-second video on the channel. I'll probably post that for you now, possibly.
What I really like about most Mercedes is that the oil change is so easy. I'm going to show you in 1 minute how to do it. Basically, the oil filter is right on top.
Now, I would have known nothing about this if that video hadn't been posted on the account, and some of you messaged me on Instagram to let me know that there'd been a strange video go up. Now, when that video went live, I went into my YouTube account and checked what had been going on, and then went into my emails and noticed that there was an email notification saying that somebody had changed the payment details on my account. So what someone had done had gone into my YouTube on the revenue side of YouTube and changed the bank details so the payments would go to a different account other than mine. Now, this happened on like the second day of being on holiday. Now, the only thing I did differently in that period, I have double authentication on my account, all that kind of stuff, is I used public Wi-Fi. Now, as you know, I use the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark, all the time on my laptop. The mistake I made was I left the UK without my laptop and only took my mobile phone to prevent myself doing work. So I was using the mobile phone to do all of my work on basically whatever Wi-Fi connections I could get, because I wasn't getting enough 4G to be able to use that. So my mistake was I hadn't yet actually put the app for Surfshark on my phone. That would have protected me while using the public Wi-Fi, because I would have had a VPN, a virtual private network connection that nobody else could hack into. When I was on the public Wi-Fi, it was an open connection that someone could go into. If I used Surfshark, it still would have used that Wi-Fi connection to give me the internet, but it would have created a closed internet connection, a virtual private network, which other hackers and other people wouldn't have been able to access. Now, this probably would have been avoided had I put Surfshark on my phone. I can't say categorically, but the only difference was while I was on holiday, I was using public Wi-Fi and I didn't have a protected connection like I do when I use my laptop. So here's a quick reminder of what Surfshark is and why it could have prevented this from happening. So with Surfshark on my phone, you can see I have a VPN live, a virtual private network that is locking out other people from viewing my internet connection. I still have all the other features that I like to have on Surfshark as well, which is the ability to change my IP address. So here it's showing I'm in London at the moment, but I could quite easily just swap to the United States, and that would mean that I could access geo-locked content, that being videos and films that might not be available, and content on YouTube that might not be available to me in the UK but are available to me in the US. With Surfshark 1, I can choose also to have alerts to protect my identity, taking control of my data to let me know when I should change my passwords, protect my email accounts, It will also scan my phone for viruses, remove harmful files, and keep my devices running fast by making sure I don't get malware on my phone. And I can also use Surfshark Search, which means that my sessions online aren't going to be tracked. With the Surfshark on my mobile phone, I'm not paying for a second account. My account I use on my laptop, I can also log into on my mobile phone. Now the good news is there's never been a better time to get Surfshark, because they've actually improved the offer to Chops Garage viewers from 83% discount to 85% discount with the 3 months extra free still. That's running from the 1st of November to 31st of December. So get down to the description below, the video description below, follow the link and get yourself Surfshark now. And I want to thank Surfshark for being a continued sponsor of Chops Garage. Now luckily, because whoever these dirty scammers are was silly enough to post that 15-second video, that gave you, the subscribers, and myself the alert that I needed to go in and check what's happening on with the account, making sure I'm getting our subscribers gifts in the background. Where's my finger? There we go. Thanks for that sign there and that sign there, much appreciated. Yeah, so because you subscribers notified me that it was silly enough to put that short video up, that highlighted the fact that my account had been hacked. I was able to go in, like I said, found that the bank details have been changed, and I was able to change them back again, change my passwords. I did notify my new dedicated YouTube account manager a week ago, and I haven't heard anything from them. So anyway, well, at least I was able to go in and change all of that. Some of you gave me some advice on some extra security stuff I can do, but yeah, it's just a warning to be careful out there. This happened, like I said, within a few days of me going on holiday. Never happened before, never happened in the sort of 2 years before. It was exactly when I go on holiday, and they're very good now at catching people out. I hadn't actually posted anything on social media that I was on holiday. My family probably have, and that's probably where it came from. But yeah, using a device that didn't have a secure connection on it on public Wi-Fi, and I probably used, you know, there's the airport, there was, I think there was a public Wi-Fi on a bus I used, and then there was one in the hotel. So I used different, and a couple of places while actually we were traveling around, that I used public Wi-Fi, and I'm pretty sure that's where the hack happened. So yeah, I'm warning to everyone to be careful. I'm back at it right away. Yeah, after lazing by a pool for a week, and we got a lot on already. So I need to get the i10 clean, because it had an MOT before we went away, and customer didn't want to pick it up till I'm back. So we sold the Hyundai i10 before I went on holiday, so we need to give that a clean. I need to whip down to Malcolm at the paint shop and pick up the Cactus, because that's now done. And I'm going to drop off the Toyota and get him to do the corner of the bumper. Got somebody already interested in that. That's happened while I've been away on holiday. A friend of mine's messaged me, is interested in that. I've got to get the i10 out, start to get that cleaned and prepped for our subscriber. I put a deposit on that before I went away. Got to get the alternator done on the Brabus so we can go for a test drive on it. Get the bits of the body kit painted back on it again, and then get that up for sale. I've got to photograph this and get it up for sale. Fantastic car. We've done the clutch on it now, haven't we? So we need to get that up for sale. I need to machine polish the other side of the Skoda. Since Malcolm did the paint on this side, you can see it's all gorgeous looking there. We need to machine polish the side of this and get that photographed and up for sale. A lot of these cars probably need to go down for MOT as well. And the i30 we got in, once Malcolm's finished the paint on the Yaris, I'm going to take it down, just get him to do this. This wing's been touched in and it's not great. So I didn't do it initially because I didn't know how quickly they'd be interested in the car. It might not be so much of a priority. I might leave it for a little while, possibly, because that might be a negotiation point on sale actually. So we might leave that. We've got to get the S2000 down, get the new MOT on it, and get them to sort out the lambda sensor issue on that. Probably put a genuine one on there to try and sort that out. And then there's the marketing of cars. So I need to look at where I am money wise on the two. I was going to trade these two out, but I think actually there's no point taking it. I can still make a small profit on them, and there's less risk selling these with a small profit. These two more expensive cars, as we discussed in the last video, the stuff that is around 9 grand, 8 grand isn't selling anywhere near as quickly as stuff around 5 grand. I was going to trade them both out, but to be fair, they are retail ready. I've done all the prep on them. They are newer cars with only 30,000 miles, so the odds of them actually having problems should be low. So really losing money on them doesn't make a lot of sense. I should just bring the price point down, and then, you know, make a more modest profit off them. You know, maybe even make sort of 300, 400 quid off each one of them, better than losing money is. I'm sure I will be told by a certain gentleman who watches the channel. So yeah, just straight back into it, loads on. I've obviously still got out the outside as well to get into the automatic X-Trail that we bought just before I went on holiday. Drove that back in today, drives bang on, so that just needs a valet. And I've got someone that's potentially interested in that, messaged me while I'm away as well. Gentleman had the Volvo estate off me, now needs an automatic, wants to part exchange the Volvo estate. That might be the right car for him. We've got to get the Cougar down, get a DPF sorted out on that. We've got to clean the Alpha, put that for sale, spares and repair. Got my favourite car, my Suzuki Swift, back from my brother who was borrowing it while he had a turbo fitted to his Dacia, so he's got that back now, so that I need to clean, take that for a run. Then I need to make a decision as to what I'm doing, because the Jaguar obviously needs to go down and get the exhaust leak fixed on it. And the Ignis is down having a new MOT as well, so when that comes back, that needs to be cleaned and got up for sale, because I think I'll take that for another drive and decide whether I prefer that to the Ignis or not. A lot on. Still got to get the VW up together, haven't I? Because we know that'll sell as soon as it's ready as well. Still got to get the Jaguar paint done on it so that we can get that Jaguar MOT'd and up for sale. So, oh goodness, I've only just come back from being on holiday. Running through all that is already making my head hurt. Oh well. Last month was a cracking month. Had the cars gone out, these two cars gone out, and I'd been here for the week and been able to prep more, probably would have been a record month for me. So, yeah, that's a good thing. At least I could go on holiday and relax, not have to worry about money, because we'd already had a cracking month, but it could have been a stonker of a month. Anyway, right, let's get that down to Malcolm, get the Cactus back and see where we are. I've got to go and pay the bills on the Cactus down at Moore's, so we'll have a roundup of how much I didn't spend on that. I don't think that's going to be the most profitable deal in the world, that one. I've got to get it clean today, because customer wants to pick up his late today, or subscriber, or early tomorrow. So I better crack on and go and get it. So the Cactus is all done, ready for pickup. It was a challenge, this one, because I was here trying to get it done last night. It was pouring with rain. My shutter door fell off its rollers, nearly collapsed on the car. I had to get on a ladder and learn very quickly how they're put together so that I was able to shut the door. Now I've got a potential £500 bill for him to come and fix it. But anyway, customers coming to pick up any minute, our subscriber. So the Cactus, I did a deep wet clean of the seats. They come out lovely. They're still a little bit damp though, so I've got a cover there for our subscriber when he comes. All the door cards were done. Interior came up lovely, absolutely mint. Outside it got a wash of snow foam, a polish, and then I went round with compound to pick out all the little marks. There were a few little marks in the paint I managed to get out. Tyres obviously got all treated, wheels got polished up. Obviously we've got a boot, I've got all this open, try and air it out a little bit, as I said, at the moment. But it's come out really, really nicely, really smart looking car. Obviously I went and picked it up from Malcolm yesterday from MJM Bodyworks. He did the roof for me, that's come out lovely. In the end, I'll try and insert the pictures maybe. He always sends me pictures of the process, which I really like, no one else does that. He'd had these roof bars off completely, didn't muck around, didn't try and mask around them, anything like that, took them off completely, took the aerial off, DA'd the whole roof and just painted the whole roof, didn't just try and do that section there. So really great work from Malcolm yet again. Still got to get cracking on the little Fabio did for me. So that is all, that's all done. I better close the boot because that battery's going to go flat, isn't it? The plastics, I've treated them. They don't seem to like plastic treatment as much as normal plastics. This stuff here and down the sides, it's not a normal plastic I've run out of Ultra, which I like to put on this kind of stuff, but it doesn't seem to absorb it as much. It kind of just sits on it, but it's giving it a shiny look. It's looking nice. Right, the thing with the Cactus is right, let's have a look at the bills, because I've spent a lot of money making this bang on for our subscriber. A lot of money. So let's start to go through it. So again, it's just to give you an idea of what the kind of prep, if a garage is doing stuff properly for you, this is why you don't knock them down on price, because if they're going to do stuff properly, it doesn't come cheap. Obviously that car could have gone out with marks on the roof. It could have gone out with just jet washing the engine bay to get rid of the sort of oil leak, and just say, well, it's an older car, it leaks a little bit of oil every now and then. It would have got through the MOT. You know, it could have been done half-assed, but we've gone to town on it, but that costs money. So again, I undersold it now, £500 under Auto Trader recommended before I knew all these bills were coming. So the roof, $298, which is perfectly acceptable. There was a lot of work in that. Then there was the bill for the actual work on the car. So down at Moore's, they obviously inspected, found the oil leak on the engine. Now, if you didn't see the earlier video, they found a gasket was leaking on the engine. They said it wouldn't fail MOT because it wasn't hitting the ground, but there was a leak that was making the engine bay quite dirty. They stripped it down and found that it was a camshaft seal, I think it says there, camshaft box. But it needed a lot of stripping down to do that, so they renewed that camshaft seal. At the same time, we did the timing belt kit, the water pump, renewed the antifreeze. We did do the oil and filter as well on that as well, so I don't know why they haven't listed that on there. Probably because I provided the parts. They did the MOT needed a offside strut top mount. They needed to service the rear brakes and renew an offside cable, renew an offside lower ball joint, a stabilizer link, and remove those pedals from the car, being a what was it? Driving school car, wasn't it? So you got the cost of the parts, and you got the labour. Total bill £661. So between those two bills, were nearly £1,000 on that alone. Obviously, then there was the parts that actually went into the car as well. I provided the oil filter, the cam belt kit, the water pump. So all in all, that was around about another £200, so £1,200 in parts. The warranty I've just booked for them, 6 months. That has cost me another £200. So we're £1,400. Yep, £1,400 into prepping that car. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you could still go further if you wanted to make it absolutely perfect in terms of bodywork wise, but you can't restore cars and sell them for less than the people that make them from new. So yeah, so that'll be going out the door. But yeah, that just gives you an idea of, when, again, you might have a car that starts with a £2,000 margin, £2,500 margin, and people often message me to sell me their cars, and I tell them that I do work off really a minimum of £2,000 margin, because if I'm going to prep cars properly, it costs that kind of money to do it. And obviously, we're still on the hook for anything that the warranty company won't cover that is considered an existing fault. So, really nice car for our subscriber, though. I'm glad it's the subscriber that's getting it, and will no doubt appreciate the amount of work that's gone into it. They did contribute. What I said was, when we were doing the camshaft seal and so forth, obviously we didn't necessarily need to do the water pump, didn't necessarily need to do the cam belt. So what I did is said, look, if you pay for the parts, I will have them fitted for free, because we're doing the other work anyway. So the subscriber was very reasonable there, and they paid £150 extra. But like I said, they're still about £500 below what Auto Trader recommended is on that car. So we'll see how we get on with that one. Normally we don't sell stuff with that kind of mileage on, 134,000 miles, but it's got a full service history. We've just done the cam belt on it, so there's no reason it shouldn't do a good number of miles. Oh, the warranty, I did actually make a point of putting, I upgraded the warranty to cover emissions as well, which means it will cover things like DPF and the sensors. Now, while I've been prepping the C4, we've tried out a new valeter today. We've had custom valets in, and I had them pop on the X-Trail. I was going to have them do the i20, but they don't do machine polish, and that needs a machine polish. So the Nissan had the makeover. What a job. I've always said I struggle to find valeters who do stuff to a standard I'm happy to. This is cracking. Absolutely. Look at the shine on this. So what was done is very reasonable pricing. £35 for a valet. I opted to have a hand polish as well. I think in total this has cost me £65, but worth every penny. Look at how this car is popping now. It looks minty. As he went round, he's polished bits and bobs, some of the scuffs, and they're looking a lot better. Like, I think I said there was some transfer of white and brick powder here where it was scuffed a little bit. That's all out. It was in the wing mirror cap there. That's all out. Haven't looked inside yet. Let's have a look at the interior. But this car is it's coming out mint now. Absolutely mint. Oh yeah, he's done a lovely job inside. Treated all the plastics, did all the carpets. This is someone I'm definitely going to use again. Look at that. That's immaculate. I normally use a bit of residue about. Oh, I'm well glad I booked him in again for next week. Had to wait a month. To be perfectly honest, I'd forgotten being on holiday that I had him booked in. But look at that. I can photograph this car and put this up for sale straight away now. So for that kind of money, being able to get 2 cars ready in one day, that's exactly what I've been looking for. Banging. Absolutely banging. Well chuffed with that. There's Martin and his son-in-law back to Wales with the Cactus. Nice to meet you, Martin. Thanks for the business. Much appreciated as always. Lovely chap. All of you subscribers are, aren't you? Right, what are we doing next? Let's get the Nissan out and get it photographed. So also just had back the Dacia, 2018 Dacia we sold to a subscriber's daughter. She popped in because it had an engine code on it. I've got the plug-in, obviously I've got the top on, so it's worth me plugging in and having a look at cars before I send them off down to the garage. Oxygen sensor code. It had gone out again though, so by the time she got me the car here, the code had gone out again, which leads me to believe perhaps it just got sooted up a little bit. You know, sometimes I've had it on a car where you can just sort of stall coming out of a junction or whatever and it'll throw the code up. So for the moment I've cleared the code and I've said if it comes back again, let me know, because if it comes back again within a week or two, we're going to definitely need to sensor. If it takes another month or so, then its likelihood is that it might be being babied a little bit too much. And I said, you know, possibly, if possible, go out and get the revs up, get some heat through it, because she says she's only doing very, very short runs. Also, the back door was sloshing, so I got underneath, pulled the plug out, and the plug was completely blocked up for the drain plug for the door. So I popped that back in again, and then I actually got the kettle and ran it over the door edge with cold water to see if I could, and it was coming out quite fast, and I was just pushing my finger at the seal, and it's just the tiniest little gap at the end of the seal by the window that's letting a little bit more water than you want. I tested both sides to see how much water came out the other side, and I said I could bond that, but she needed to leave it with me for 24 hours for it to go off. And she said, well, to be honest, if it's draining through, I'm not so bothered, which it is now, so it's not going to sit in the bottom of the door. Bless her, she was apologetic for bringing the car over and said, look, like I always say to all my customers, I said, look, at the end of the day, you paid a dealer premium, so you got this service. Don't apologise for using it. If you went and bought it privately, then yeah, you wouldn't want to be popping back all the time. And if you paid a private price for the car, mind you, she probably did actually, based on the prices I do. But if you paid a private price for the car, then apologise. But no, I've got no issues with people letting me know about problems they've had with their car when they bought it off me at a dealer premium, because that's what they're paying for. The premium is to get the service to try and resolve faults. Like I say, as long as they're not fair wear and tear issues, got no problem at all. So we'll see how we get on with that. Right, I10 moving to the other side so we can give this a quick wipe over. I mean, this was immaculate when it went down and got its MOT, and it's just picked up just general road dirt from just going down for its MOT and back. So we'll just give it a quick waterless wax. This is a danger wash because the shutter's still not fixed. You can see it's at a jaunty angle here. I've managed to put a pair of mole grips on to hold the locks off. The cable's broken, obviously, but I've been able to manually lift it. But like I said, what happened when I manually lifted it is these rollers came out completely, and you can see a few of them are on a very teetery edge of being connected, but last time it only fell down this far, so I'm holding out hope it's the same. I've got a company coming tomorrow to sort that out. So yes, straight into the deep end after the holiday, isn't it? Anyway, crack on, give this a quick wipe over. And after all this, I need to give this place an almighty tidy up. Both sides are getting a bit untidy because it's just been a bit hectic. Right, last minute drama with the i10. Luckily, I've caught this with a good number of hours to spare. I asked the guys to check the window because the window was sticking halfway. And when they got it down to them, they said they had no problems with it at all. I'd already ordered in a window regulator, which I've got over there. I just thought, I'll just check it now. And it's not working, so we need to whip the window regulator out and swap it over. Hopefully it's that, not the switch. I will double check that before I go too far. But yeah, I've got to crack on and get this done because I haven't got time to get down the garage and get them to sort it now. And famous last words, it shouldn't be too much of a problem to do it, but if there is a problem, I've got enough time to ring the customer and let them know they're only local. So it shouldn't be too much of a hardship to them. Just have to wait a little bit longer for it. Anyway, I need both hands. What we can do is swap the switch onto the one I've got there and see if that smoothly goes up and down all the way, no problem at all. If it doesn't, we know we've got a problem with the switch. If it does go fine, we know it's a problem with the regulator. So we can see there that the it's moving up and down fine, so it's not the switch, it's the actual motor. So we will swap that out and we'll swap the whole unit out. I could just swap the motor, but I'll have to get the worm gear all lined up and all that kind of stuff. Easy just to get the whole unit out. So when doing window regulators, you always want to make sure you get the glass down to the point where you can undo the glass fitting. If you start taking apart the motor and all that while the window's halfway up, you're going to find you've got a problem and you have to pull it back together again. So first step here is we'll undo the glass, get that out, and then we may still need to move the regulator about to get it out the way easily, so we'll keep it connected until the last minute. I'm going to use both hands now just to make sure the glass doesn't drop down into the bottom of the door and do any damage. So disconnected the glass by just pushing the little hooks over the top there, slid the glass up. Now it will hold in the rubbers, but if you move the door around it could drop very quickly and smash, so I put gaffer tape on to hold it out. You can obviously take the rubbers off and pull the glass out completely, but I like to save time by doing this, and it also means when I put the new regulator in I can make sure it's lining up nicely, all that kind of stuff. So now I need to take all the bolts out. I've used a razor blade to cut the plastic so I can put some gaffer tape back over that. You want this on in place to keep the condensation out, so cut it as neatly as you can. You do need to cut it to get to the bolts, unfortunately, but if you cut it neatly you can then just tape it back up afterwards and it will carry on doing its job. So a bit of wiggling about and you should be able to get it out. Sometimes it will be easy to get the glass out completely because that was a little bit tight at the top where the arm was still up there, but a little bit of persuasion, it came out. So that's the old unit out. So we can see that is all rusty there. I don't know if that's one of the problems that's causing it to slow in the middle, but that's for the scrapyard, and we'll get the new one in. Motor fitted in first because we might want to move the regulator up and down to get it to fit properly, so we'll loosely fit that first, give us a little bit more wiggle room while we do it. So we fed the regulator in down here, so now we've got to pull it in up underneath that bit of glass. Again, two-handed job. So reconnected the switches for a moment to move the regulator into the right position so that we can get the glass down. So now I'll take the tape off, lower the glass gently down onto that, and we should be able to fix that in place. So glass back down, not plastic clip still on, so we can get these screws back in place. Not quite lined up, I'm just going to get them bang lined up. Again, I won't tighten anything up fully too much because we want to let it go up and down a couple of times, sort of centralise itself before I tighten it all up fully. Moment of truth. Right, that's all happy, so let's tighten it all up. Now guys, this is another reason you want to buy simple cars. So for example here, Hyundai have put the door handle and the cables on the actual door itself. You can see I put the black tape on it now to seal back up the areas. Normally that is attached to the door itself, so you have to fiddle with all those cables. The other thing is as well, is a lot of newer cars and the more expensive cars, they've now done that regulator as a whole I'll show you in a minute, a whole section of the door, and you've got to drill all the rivets out all the way around to get it out. So if you're going to buy a car and you want low running costs, you go for the simple models. I've said it time and time again, you know, don't buy well, he says with the Jaguar there, for example, you know, you can't buy the more expensive stuff that was 50, 60 grand, you know, 30, 40 grand, and then expect to be able to fix it at home with a few spanners. You buy the cheapy little cars, because fixes like this, I mean, this has taken me about half an hour to do. The part wasn't expensive. But on other cars, this could be a half a day job. You know, there's some stupid designs out there. So this is another reason why I love these little Hyundais. So there we have it all back together again. So on this, a lot of people say, James, you're not doing any work on the cars anymore. You know, obviously I can do the work on them. The thing with this is, Moore's probably would have charged maybe 30 quid for fitting that regulator. It's taken about half an hour to do it. In that time, there's really other stuff I could have been doing that would earn me more than £30. I've got my VAT to do. I've got listings of cars done. Obviously, I photographed the Nissan, so I could have listed the Nissan up for sale. Obviously, that's big profit having, you know, out of that car once it's got up and listed for sale. I've got the paperwork to do for the handover of this car, so that's why I don't tend to do as much myself anymore. It doesn't stack up. I've got other things that are more pressing to get done. Plus all my tools are a bloody mess. I said I need to get through and tidy all this up. But that was really just to show you guys these things are totally possible yourself. What did I use tool-wise? One prizer, one Phillips screwdriver, a 10mm on a ratchet. Obviously you can use a manual ratchet, this just makes it a lot quicker. So these are the things you can do at home yourself. They're simple to fix, they're simple to diagnose and simple to fix. So for you on a weekend, yeah, it probably is worth, well, it might not be. You might want to spend time with your family more than spend half an hour fitting that. But yeah, it's, again, though, I say that on cars like this, it's that simple, which is why I just can't stress enough for you people that are looking to buy cars on a budget and have the low running costs. Yeah, it's very attractive when you see a BMW 1 Series diesel for a couple of grand or 3 grand or whatever. You can buy them cheap, but you're not going to be able to fix them yourself. And the parts are going to be expensive, the repairs will be expensive. Just picked up a message from Martin regarding the C4. He's just driven it back to Wales, got there all okay, phoned up, left me a message to say what a great car it was. So what a class act he is. Thanks for that, Martin, much appreciated. That doesn't happen very often. It's really, really hard to get reviews and feedback, because at the end of the day, people buy cars, they crack on with their lives, don't they? You know, they really want to get in touch if there's a problem as a general rule. That said, a lot of you subscribers are very good at doing this. So yes, thanks for that, Mike. Much appreciated. It's always nice to hear people are so happy with the cars. You know, as we saw earlier in the video, put a lot of money into getting that car right, and the fact that he appreciates it and is enjoying the car and thinks he got a good deal, which he did, is really nice. And that's, you know, sounds cheesy, but it does make the job that bit nicer.